was our main page.
And we're live on Facebook. Hey, and Facebook, and we are on live on Instagram at schoolfortheliving.com.
Okay.
This has been long awaited. A lot of people, the buzzword and the trend word, and I had to say trend because there's a lot of trending going on in the spiritual community, is that Venus in retrograde is coming up very, very, very soon. Some people are saying October the 5th, and some people are saying October the 6th. It's going to last for 40
days and 40 nights. And that's the title and the topic that we chose because the 40 days and 40 nights has a biblical theme to it.
Yes.
All right. And this is after the 40 days and 40 nights after Christ kind of went through the desert and was tempted. All right.
Who was he tempted by?
He was tempted by some man called Satan. Satan. Yes.
Or the devil.
The devil. All right. So with these 40 days and 40 nights, it's really a testing of where you are really, where you've completed yourself.
Right.
And it's really testing these chakras to see if you are ready to go into that fifth dimension, or what we call the rainbow, rainbow world, the world of the fifth dimension, the world of manifestation, the world where the leaders will be the magical beings. This is the flip. You know, and a lot of people, the spiritual leaders, because now the frequency is now shifting, things are changing. We are getting tired of bullshit, lies, and flies, right? and that's what's going on now. Is that, you know, starting, I think it's October 4th, you know, and it's already been going. Is that we've already been doing self checks on ourselves, and you know, we've been seeing, are we grounded, right? Are we around the right people? Is the right people in our circle? Relationship? Are we in the right relationship, right? If you sex, you know, is your relationship about sex? Is it about love? Is it about duty? You know, these are some of the questions that we are having to start to really address within ourselves and in our reality. And so the idea is that, you know, when we look at, since it was the 2000, and I would like to say 2016, we were at the vibration of 9, right, which is completion, self-mastery. And then the 2017 was about the identity, right? And so this is really about the homework you've been doing for the last 2 years. This is test time. This is what we call judgment day, right? This is when the reality starts to shift. We're all gonna start shifting to realities that best suit our harmonic needs, because what's happening is that Mother Gaia, Earth, she's going through some changes. She has a wobble, you know, and this wobble is a little bit out of norm, because the idea is that we can't control our thoughts, or which is, you know, regulated by our heart for most people. Some people are just cold-hearted, and they're just using all of their mind. And so this is about how well have we integrated our mind with our heart, how well have we integrated the left as well as the right hemispheres of our brain to see exactly, are we seeing clearly? Are we feeling clearly? How deep is our emotional intelligence? We go. Right? Did you go all the way down to the ocean floor, or you just stayed in the shallow end and doggy paddle? So
I guess 2012 was the awakening for everybody. It was like, oh shit, we're not muggles, we're not just regular people. And then everybody is starting to get into it. We are now in the age of Aquarius. I heard people say differently, but we are in the age of Aquarius, and with the age of Aquarius, we are starting to think differently. Everything is shifting into the what you would call the new age, which is nothing new. It's not nothing new under the sun. The world goes in cycles. So now we're coming into this new age. Everything is becoming trendy. Spirituality has become trendy. And this is my note to people: you cannot be a faker in this time. Mark my words. You cannot fake the funk. You cannot be a fake healer. You cannot be a fake psychic. You cannot be a fake tarot reader. If you have not cultivated what you're doing, do not sell anything. Do not do these things, because it's wrong. And karma is being served.
Oh, yeah.
It's being served out for 7 years. So if you cheat people out, or you're doing anything wrong, you need to stop immediately and be real and find your true purpose, because it may not be healing. It may not be that you're psychic. It may not be those things. And you have to be real and stop trying to get a buck out of somebody, because it's wrong.
So in this next 40 days. All right, this is starting. I think it's October 4th or 5th, and it's going to go for 40 days. All right, and so there's always going to see. I went through my root chakra testing, and how I knew it was a root chakra testing before I even took my trip. I was shown there was a tree, a big old tree, and for some reason, from underneath the tree, the roots came out of the ground, and the tree fell down. Right. And so we were tested on our root chakra. I would say from August to September, we were probably in our root chakra, where we were really trying to see how grounded we were in our relationships. And so when we look at that Mars Aquarius, what was happening with Mars and Aquarius, right, within the South Node, what was happening in August going to September, it was all about our relationships and seeing if we were in true relationships or if we were meant to kind of go our separate ways. And that Mars energy was there to work with the Aquarius energy to push us in our separate directions so we can find those places. So if you pass the root chakra test, right, which is that are you in a relationship that really grounds you, right? And a lot of people had interference patterns, people thrown in the mix to test you to see how well that you would stay together in that mix. And some people, they passed that test, right? And so now we're going to the next test, right, is dealing with the sacral chakra. Right, and that's coming up starting right now this month, right? And I think a lot of people may fail this. A lot of people are going to start to feel this pain as they come in, because this is deal with the sacral chakra is where we do a lot of manifestation. That's what sex, that's where when you're dealing with the root and you start to generate it up, when you get to that second chakra, the sacral. And some people, it's the creative chakra. It's sex, excitement, pleasure.
And if you can't get past all of that, then you can't rev up and you can't manifest. If
you can't get past that, then guess what? You go back down to the first chakra, because guess what? It means that wherever you at, that is not a stable foundation for you to plant your seed of whatever it is that you do. So now, if you pass that test, you're going to go to the second chakra, which is, are you passionate? Do you love doing what you do? Right? This frequency is going to push you to see if you can hit that G spot within yourself.
And that's why we mentioned everybody's upset with Kanye West about him saying we need to repeal the 13th Amendment. And I do laugh at kind of like what Kanye West said, because the 13th Amendment has never been really abolished. We are all slaves to the system, the system currently. Even people like Nature Boy, who thinks because he's in nature, you're a slave to social media, really, because that's how you make your money. Everybody's a slave to something, but most people in the workforce, schools and all of that were made up from the workforce of people. They want the people to go out and be slaves and work for this whole, I guess this whole commodity of USA is just like a business. And you got the workers and you got the people who manifest and don't have to work. And you have the magical people and you have the wicked people who sacrifice so they don't have to work, and they feed off the workers.
Exactly.
And this has always been, and I think Kanye West is wanting people to think. I don't agree with how he's doing it and how he's saying it, because it could be better, but Geminis have problems with communication anyway, because there's two people. There's two people going on in the head, where there's probably the head and the heart of the devil and the angel on both sides trying to say that. And that's what Venus in retrograde is dealing with, is the devil and the angel on your shoulders.
Yep. So now, just to kind of build on that, a lot of you people who believe that, hey, I got my job, I got my money, I got my personal belonging. See, now we're going into another era where it's really going to be about your soul. And your soul is going to start to call out and say, hey, I need help. I'm tired as hell. I'm tired of work. I'm tired of getting up. I'm tired of, right? Your soul is talking. You think it's your mind. A lot of people say, my mind playing tricks on me. No, it's your damn soul saying, hey, you don't get any pleasure out of this.
Even spiritual workers, so-called light workers and everybody else, we're all going through this. We're not on here to wag our finger. We are here to help and to guide. But there's a thing where we're saying is that you have to do some type of cultivation, and you have to do some self-checks. And the biggest thing that you can do in these 40 days and these 40 nights is surrender. Surrender.
Be completely honest. If you are struggling with where you live, where you work,
the poverty complex.
you need to speak it and you need to say it. You need to seek help, go outside of yourself, and you start to see these things within yourself so you can start to adjust. But this is the part of the journey, all right? Because when you're talking about the root chakra, we're talking about foundation. That means that you can't stay in the same place. That means that when we look at transition and becoming our greatest version of self, this is also about collecting breadcrumbs of yourself, all right? And some of it from this life, some of it from people you hurt, some people from people who hurt you, all right? But now you got to somehow figure out, well, I've done those things. I've been to those places. I've been with that person. I don't need to be with that person no more. I know what it's going to be like to be with him. All right. Now you got to say, okay, I have to go and immerse myself completely in the darkness. I have to, it don't have to be completely dark. Right. I would say when I first went on my journey, it was something that I always wanted to do. I wanted to for some reason, I wanted to abandon everything and I just wanted to travel. I just wanted to go west.
Good morning, Daniel.
I wanted to see the ocean. All right. And so when that opportunity came, I left. And I left. I took my plane ticket. I took my taxi cab ride to where I was going to stay. And when I got off my taxi cab, I had $40. All right. That's all that I had. And I was in hot ass California, 90 degrees, sweating my ass off. But it was the greatest experience that I've ever had because I did something that people in the Midwest always wanted to do. They always look at the oceans. We look at the coastlines. We be like, we want to go. All right. But, you know, that was where I transitioned into my spiritual self. I had a chance to work on myself. I had a chance to get outside of my surroundings and to hear what other people saw me. Right. Because sometimes we be in our whole little world. We be the king of the couch. Right? And everybody tell you, hey man, you look good, look at your pictures, you look so beautiful, where did you go the other day? Right? We don't know when that picture was taken, but people fake it. People are on Facebook and on social media acting like their lives are bigger than what it is, and what it lets me know is that you're faking it. All right? When you are truly doing what you love or at a place that you love being, the ground is powering your being. All right, that's the real idea of root chakra stimulation. It's not to sit your ass down and say, focus on the dantian, focus on the root chakra. Right, that's how people be acting. Right?
That's a gateway.
All right, that's a gateway. Right? To truly power from your root chakra, you have to power from the land.
And women, we can do that easily. We are the queens of the land. I always say that we are the queens of the earth. We can easily do that. We are the ones who, through sex, we're supposed to be grounding the manifestation. Rod was telling me about, like, when you put your hand up, put it down, like the Baphomet. The Baphomet, one hand goes up and hand goes down. Is that the man, he's sending it up to the heavens, and the woman is grounding the energy. So women, we should naturally be able to manifest. And I was just telling him this morning is that my fear is that we won't be able to manifest what we need because I have self-doubt within myself. That's where you have to believe in yourself, else with that self-doubt, you cannot manifest. And that's dealing with the I am presence, your solar plexus, which is still dealing with the root, which is dealing with that right after you go from the sacral, you're going up to the I am.
And so after we kind of get past the sacral, that's if you get past the sacral. Right. That's the hardest chakra to when you're manifesting it. If you ever go to the stores, like some spiritual shops, the orange candle is the hardest candle to find. Right? Why? Because some people who struggle and maybe they're single, right, and they don't have energy, like they, a lot of people say, "Oh, you can manifest by yourself. Oh, you can do. Oh my God, right? No, right. Some people think that they can just do that, right? But we need, depending on what you're manifesting and the energy you have within yourself, sometimes we need that assistance. We need that daily prayer, that daily intent. And that's what that candle magic is there for, that when you have that orange candle, it can assist you in continually manifesting from the sacral chakra, especially if you're not having sex with another negative positive, negative positive, spark, and third energy comes up. Now you got the triangle, right? Energy going up to the heavens. So if we get past that sacral chakra, now it must means we have done our homework. Right? This means that in 2017, we truly was walking in our I am presence. And we have mastered it. So now you get to go to that place wherever you need to go and be your I am self. right? Because after you get past this third chakra, the third chakra is really connected. I am is connected to your heart.
Can I say a little side note? People look at Rael and say, oh, he claims and he says he is Jesus and he's remembering that past life. There's so many, to the Black community, to the conscious community, there is a lot of people that go around, and white people that go around and know exactly who they are, remember their past lives, remember who they are, and they say it with conviction.
Oh, yeah.
This is a time for you to remember who you are and stand in that shit and really believe and know who you are. But you can't just do it and just say, ta-da! I am now Queen Sabababu, or I'm now Goddess Ishtar, da-da-da-da-da. Well, how did you get that? Who gave you that title? What cultivation did you do? Yeah. You cannot go around just putting the titles. You have to do the work.
You got to do the work. You got to do the work. And so, you know, and the reason why I speak who I am, right? And people say, "Oh, you think you?" No, I'm not. I've been many different versions, and I've heard, you know, I know several of my different lifetimes, and they all came back to me through surrender, through just isolation. You know, since I can go back. For the longest, it took me a long time to integrate back into the world of society, right? And with this whole new idea, and for the longest, I was very afraid to say the things that I would want to say, that, hey, you are a living Messiah, you are that being, because I know that in this reality, that idea has not really been thought of. It's only been read about. It's now a mythical idea where people cannot even fathom the idea of a person who has the essence, right? We recycle, everything's recycled. Everything recycled, right? And so when you think about the soul is now recycling itself and coming back for a different experience. And the idea is, I can't bring in all these other different memories, but there's some memories that I have that come back, and there's certain understandings and knowing that I didn't have to go to school to learn. These are things that was deeply buried in the dark, and I had to search for these things. And now we're in this frequency where you have to stand in your I am presence. So I have no choice. I have to tell you this because we're all in testing. And guess what? One of the seventh chakra is that test in faith. Are you connected with heaven? Right? And so after these 40 days, we're going to find out who are the believers and who are the non-believers, right?
It's separating the shaft from the wheat.
Yep. So I have to do these things, or else I'm going to be, scolded and ridiculed, and I'm gonna have to deal with my higher self and all these people saying you're a coward, you don't deserve. I'm not trying to deal with that. I'm going to let you guys believe what you want to believe, all right? And then at the end of this all, we're gonna see who was correct,
right?
All right. So if we can stand in our I am presence, and there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna try to knock you off your square, right? This is like a game of chess. The dark pieces don't want you to say who you think you are. Right. There's some people out there who are Caucasian. They don't want no brown-skinned man who got this balding right here with dark hair and got this Hebrew look. Do you know that in other cultures, people will shave the front of this hair just so they can have this look? And you mean to tell me I don't have to do this? I have a natural holy look. Right? I have this natural bald spot right in the back. Look at it.
Hey,
natural Hebrewish looking spot. I have all these different, a birthmark that looks like the head of a nail that actually looks like one of the hieroglyphs on the wall of Egypt. I have the Orion star system as birthmarks on my right foot. Right? I have 2 freaking birthmarks on the side of my hips, just like it was prophesied. So I'm saying a little bit too much, and I'm in my I am self, but I had to say this, right? Because there's a lot of people that will try to knock you off your shit and treat you and mock you and say, "Look at his bald head ass, right? Look at him. He think he is. He crazy, right?" But at the end of this, I promise you,
he knows who the fuck he is.
I know who the fuck I am. I know that, and I know my ability. I know where I'm gonna go, and I know who's going with me. I'm just trying to see if some extras are going to come and going to see to.
Right.
So if we can get past the I am part, now we're going to be in our heart. Our heart is where we can now change our reality. All right. This is connected to the sun. Right. Your heart is what opens portals. It opens reality. It attracts people to you. And now guess what's happening? We're in this full moon. No, there's new moon in Libra coming up on the 8th.
To take in that, going back to the 40 days and 40 nights, your children. Remember your children, because a lot of people just look at their children like they're dolls or animals, or they don't have a spirit within them. And your children are going through some things too. And they're going through the depression. They're going through the self-doubt. They're going through facing their fears as well. And it can't be just sending them off to school and everything is la-di-da-di, because when they're at school, they're dealing with different energies. They're dealing with the teachers. They're dealing with other children. And it's going to be hard for them too. So you need to check on your children and have talks with them. How was school today? What was going on? And you need to take it to a standpoint of not just physical. You need to take it to a standpoint of spiritual and what's going on, and have them understand the forecast. Because
what are you dreaming?
What are they dreaming? Did you have any dreams? That is always the question that me and Rael ask. Did you have any dreams? I still have to interpret one of my son's dreams, because he was talking about how he opened up a pillow and he seen spiders, and then the spider was on his back. So that is showing you that something is going on, and it's all spiritual, and it needs to be addressed. You just can't just look at your children, get them dressed and send them off to school. And then when they come back home, you don't know what they're going through. It has to be considering the children. And then another note is cultivating your children. You have to start cultivating your children spiritually, but you also need to know, how can I cultivate? How can I cultivate them? Yeah. And if you say Rihanna's having a lot of nightmares, then she's in the lower dimension.
Her soul is in the lower dimension, and the lower dimension is going to try to let you know what are your fears. Every time you go to bed, this dimension is going to reinforce these fears. This is where your children and some people are tormented. And this is this white light that a lot of people are talking about, the event. That, I'm gonna get on that. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna finish.
We have a lot to say today. We just been sitting back observing.
Yeah, we was like, we got to record. All right. And so this idea is that a lot of the people who are graduating, some of them are becoming full wizards or great manifestors of this new kingdom, this new reality that we're coming to. And so after we test it on the heart, and for some people, your I am presence is going to be a tough test, right? Because this is the separation test. This is when your friends are going to be like, hey, kick it with me, right? Why is somebody trying to call me? All right, don't do that. That's when people hate, right? When people move forward, you're going to have to walk yourself. So once we get past that, and you're in your heart, and now your heart is going to bring into a whole new reality. This portal is going to bring you into a reality where now you have the ability to speak, all right, to speak these things. Now we into this. This is getting to the earth polarity, what the earth is doing. She's testing us to see how many people deserve this power, deserve this understanding where now they can manifest, speak things into existence, right? That's why a lot of these spiritual leaders are about to. It's over there under the thing. It's under here. Okay. Yeah, got to do some changing battery life about to kind of go short. So all right. So in the days of Egypt, the earth was alive, right? And now the earth, she's starting to awaken herself now. She's starting to jump back online, where she is going to raise us. She's going to want us to be accountable for our actions. So now when we speak things from our heart, if a whole frequency, a whole area is speaking a certain way, what's going to happen is, or speaking a negative way, now this is where we're hearing earthquakes. We're hearing rain, downpours, all these type of things, because she's going to kick your ass if you don't get in line with her frequency. And her frequency is calling all of us to understand the divine laws of how to walk on this land. Right. So that this is what a separation is coming. This 40 days and 40 nights is about to see how many people have harmonized all their 7 chakras and have connected themselves with spirit, where they're now multidimensional and they're willing to follow spirit and be led by spirit. Most people don't want to be led. A lot of people don't even want to leave their damn job. So I expect to be led by spirit, right? So there's already this thing that's about to happen in this 40 days and 40 nights.
I think I don't know if really people feel like they're prepared. And I don't think a lot of people are prepared, because I really, in all this time that we have been doing our spiritual work, and we've been very consistent. You can check the facts. You can check our YouTube. You can check our public figure page. We've been doing this for a good minute. And I don't think, from my observation, from seeing a lot of people are not prepared for this. So it's going to hit a lot of people And it's going to be hard. It's going to be some hard spiritual testing that you're going to go through. And if you have not done any cultivation, and this is just your first time doing cultivation, I hate to scare you, but it's going to be some shit coming through.
Oh yeah.
And there's going to be some people that come in your life that are definitely going to test you, and they usually are going to be ex people. So that's why I had put up on Facebook about doing cord cutting. This dealing with this etheric field is that when you have sex with somebody, that connects you, not just physically, or you can make a child. This connects you spiritually. So when you're saying, I keep going back to him, or I keep going back to her, and I know I can't let go, that's because you didn't do the work to cut them off. And
then what's going to happen is you're going to throw yourself back up in the loop, the cycle where you're now just recycling the same shit, lies, flies, and bullshit. It's going to keep circling around, and you're not going to spiral up where you separate from that shit. Right. So this is, I'm telling you the test. I'm giving y'all the test right now. Right. So by the time in November come, you're going to be tested on your third eye. Yeah, your third eye. Now, your ability to see, to dream, to have intuition. Right. There's always one test that the whole collective is going to be tested on. And they're going to say, can you see? Because the thing is, if you can see, they'll say that you've seen that man and that woman and you know exactly who they are. So therefore, you can now receive guidance and know where to go and what to do.
I hope Danielle, I know a lot of people are tired. Many people are tired, but you have to come out of that. You have to know that being tired is going to make you fail. If you get tired, you're going to fail. Yeah.
So now, since we've got to the point where we're receiving guidance, we know what to do. This is when now that seed can be planted in your head of how to walk this earth, how to navigate the world of sin better, because for most spiritual people who are sensitive to other people's feelings, it is very hard. It's very hard for them to really go out in the world and be amongst people who have negative vibrations. They have these feelings that they have no control over, or they're just people who don't have any emotional intelligence. These are people who are just, they're just here. And some people are just props. Right? You haven't activated yourself. You're not online to be considered relevant. It's just like if the creator saw all these gray spots and saw one white light on, that one white light will be answered before all the other gray ones. All right. So this is that time for us to become enlightened beings, all right? To become that white light and a light for others. So now your words and your blessings can be received, because guess what? If your light is on, then you are here helping others in this new frequency, which is to heal the planet. And right now, since we're in the age of Aquarius, I was watching a show the other day, and they said we're in the age of Aries, all right, which is dealing with the forehead, but that's a fire sign. We're in the age of controlling your thoughts, right? This is dealing with thoughts. This is just dealing with...
Which is going to be hard for some air signs.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard because most air signs have a hard time with their feelings. So this is the time where you have to show emotional intelligence, and you have to walk on that line, or else what's going to happen is you're going to start to polarize yourself. You're going to start to connect with people who are like-minded like you, right? And then you'll be looking over and say, oh, I want that relationship. I would like that good relationship. Oh, that looks so cute. They made a beautiful baby, right? You're going to be saying all that type of shit because in truth, you still have jealousy within you. Exactly. All these things that you have, whether it be jealousy, envy, gluttony, laziness, all that, you're going to bring together a partner who's gluttony, right? All that stuff. You're going to bring together a partner who's going to be the reflection so you can pop out of it and say, hold on.
I don't like this.
I don't like this. And the reason why, what's going to happen is you're going to fight over and over and over until you either get it or you separate.
Or it turn you into, it could get volatile, because right now it's going to be that if you go back and you go into these type of relationships, somebody could get hurt and somebody might end up kicking your ass and you wish you never probably got into it. So this is something, let's give some tips. Let's get some tips for this Venus in retrograde.
Tips. All right. First tip, got to become crazy. Got to become crazy. Why? Because that's what I call that 0 point frequency. It means that I can move in all directions. People who too logical, they already have a thought. Right. They already have something that they already that's already preset. They already got shit that they already believe. They ain't changing shit, right? You got to be crazy, right? Because, you know, Kanye West, people look at Kanye West like he's crazy, but guess what? He sounds a lot smarter and a lot more daring than all you people who are sitting there doing nothing. He got y'all talking about him. Smart man.
My tip is don't look back. Anything that comes from the past, do not invite it. Let that shit go. I don't care if it was a past friendship, a past relationship with a man or a woman. If it does not serve you, let that shit go and do not look back.
Mine would be apply whatever it is that you're trying to learn, right? So if you are with a teacher and he's telling you to go do something out there, go see if that shit works. Right, because some teachers be teaching some bullshit, and they really don't have no more shit to really teach, but they just keep going and going and going. Find out what they are an expert in. What is their expertise? Then apply that shit. See if it works. Right. This is how I came to my being. Is I used to go through so many stuff, and I read it, and I said, all right. They said let go. I let go. All right, and then some shit worked, some shit didn't work. I had to throw a lot of books and people out because that shit didn't work.
Another tip is to love through this shit and don't take nothing personal, because people are going through past life shit. So if you're going through some past life shit, it's not always about your partner. So in relationships, I say don't take nothing personal. Please don't take this personal, because if you do, then the relationship is going to break apart. So if you are in a relationship right now, it is going to get tested, and you need to know and look up things about Venus in retrograde. That's another one of my tips. Look up Venus in retrograde. Don't just take it from what we say. Look up that shit yourself and prepare yourself for it and understand what it is and the different phases of it, because there's different phases that the Venus in retrograde is going to go through.
Okay. Be prepared for surprises, right? And why? Because when you're going through this reality is testing you, right? So when it's testing you, it's some shit that you probably ain't really prepared for anyway. So when you're prepared for those surprises, all you need to do is if it's something you like, tell them you like it. If it's something you don't like, tell them you don't like it. All right? You don't have to take anything that you do not desire. If it's not within your feelings, all right, you got to be okay with telling people no. No, man, I said no, nigga. I said no. Right? You got to be okay with that. And the person who you're talking to got to be okay with that too. Right? And then if you're going to be the person that's saying no, make sure you have some, tell them why you're saying no. Be clear. Right? If it's something you're saying yes about, be clear why you're saying yes, because right now we're trying to get rid of the fakeness in this reality. And a lot of people that say stuff to appease you, to still be on your side. There's a lot of snakes and a lot of people grass. So you got to make sure that people are speaking clearly to you. Make sure people know why they are giving you praise or know why they're not. That way you are to yourself. That way you know that if this person is fake, you know. But if this person is real, they gave you some other details behind why they said that, and therefore you can't take it personal. And I'm going to give myself a plug, because we always want to do that. Go to people that have done the work and get some spiritual assistance or guidance. We give ascension charts where we help people to understand their purpose with their career. We help you with your children. I know people think they know their children, but there are certain marks on you that show that you're a psychic or you're a seer. There are certain marks of being a healer or having these different abilities, and we're able to do it. Anybody tell me that their child's a healer, I'm going to tell you that your child's a saint, and he should be somewhere, and we should be worshiping that child. Right. There's very few children before the age of 7, chakras are already online and they're already connected like that. That is very hard. And to get to the level to be a healer, that takes a great deal of cultivation of energies for you to be able to give energy to someone else so their body can now activate. Because the thing, people say, I'm a healer. They say, no. You have the ability to activate someone else's body so that their body can heal itself. Which is what Reiki is. But there's many forms of healing. An empath is not a healer. An empath just attunes themselves with people and can feel what they're going through. And then they are able to say, hey, are you feeling this way? I feel you. But an empath is not a healer. Danielle said, you tired of the testing. Well, you just got on that. I just answered that. You better get used to this testing, because that shit never ends. It's going to make you or break you. Even after this, right? Even after this, there's still people who have not fully ascended. This is about getting all the chicks and all the duckies home so they can all go to heaven. This is what this lifetime's about. This is about getting everybody on that wave.
And then even after this, 2019 is supposed to be a motherfucker. So prepare you're gonna have to go through that too.
So it's like this is how I put it. You can either get on the boat now, or you can choose the box. Go for the box. What's in the box? Right. And I'm gonna tell you, I did that. This is how I got on the path. I was working with Nationwide Insurance, and I was like, man, these people dumb as hell. I can do this better than them. And I was set for promotion because it made $56,000 a year, decent money, right? Mm-hmm. But then I was like, hold on, I'm worth more than that. So I chose the box. I chose myself, that I wanted to be self-employed. I wanted to be an entrepreneur myself, and to become myself. Who would have thought that from 2000, maybe 10, 11 to now, that I would, be going through this whole journey of becoming that self-employed man. Right. It just means that I needed to gain the tools, but for some reason I knew that work world wasn't my world. Mm-hmm. I knew it wasn't. I'll check the box again right now. I won't go. I would never go back to that world because I love the finished product that I am today. Total different being.
Mm-hmm. And that comes with being authentic.
Yeah.
When you're being authentic, you can stand in your purpose and you can be you. Mm-hmm. And there's some other tips that I say is don't be in denial. Be truthful with yourself,
mm-hmm.
and find out what's your purpose.
Okay.
And the purpose is more so of creating yourself, but find out what you're good at.
Right. And here's my last tip. This is where you have to be open for divine guidance. Right. So if you're a person who is not heavily into spirit every day of meditating, mm-hmm. right, researching, getting information, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Googling it, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not doing this regular every day, mm-hmm. then you need to have a spiritual teacher, mm-hmm. right? That means that this person is going to help fill your crown, fill your intelligence, to get you at a level where now you can catch up or even pass some people, because there's a lot of spiritual teachers out there who saying, hey, take some herbs, just eat good. That's all you got to do is eat good.
And you'll power up, and your third eye will come on, and your pineal gland
will
vegan. Start working.
All you got to do is eat good, right? That's bullshit, right? There's something that you have to do to become supremely grounded with your higher self, your lower self, as well as your past lives.
And I think that's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic. I don't even want to get into that, because when you're dealing with invisible wounds, you be in relationships and people looking and say, why are you bugging out? And he's like, you don't even get it. This is some past life stuff. They're still working through mm-hmm. it. Right. So it's like now this is the time where the spiritual teacher, the enlightened teachers, you're gonna have to find somebody to ferry you across to a different consciousness.
I don't even care if you got to go to a medium and have them speak on your behalf to the people mm-hmm. over there and say what you should be doing, because I know that I'm not doing exactly all of what I'm supposed to be doing. And me and Raul had that talk where mm-hmm. I have to get into my art. Mm-hmm. I talked to a medium, Debbie Rodriguez, and she had told me about my grandmother talked to me and told me you should be doing art, mm-hmm. that's going to help you. Mm-hmm. So if that's something that you're supposed to be doing, mm-hmm. you have to do it. Yeah. But sometimes you don't really know mm-hmm. what am I supposed to be doing. So sometimes you have to go to those people that are able to tap into that spiritual realm mm-hmm. and give you answers, such as ourselves and many others. Yeah. But we're good at our shit. Yeah. So if you really want to come to us, go to www.schoolfortheliving.com mm-hmm. and check out what we do. Yep. You can also look at us on Instagram. We have our page. If you're looking at a page right now, you can be able to click the link and go to that, and you can get some answers through mm-hmm. our readings. Yeah. We do spiritual counseling and quick mm-hmm. counseling. That's $25. What's $25 to anybody? Mm-hmm. That's like having $1 now. $20 is like $1 now. Mm-hmm. So what is that to take that sacrifice to sit down and talk with mm-hmm. us? Yep. And I also go back to get some spiritual counseling for your children. We do that. It's $45. And it's worth it. And you need to know mm-hmm. about your child and what is their abilities, what are their natural abilities, and what can they do, and how can you help them to get through these 40 days or 40 nights.
Because if you can't see in spirit, and this is how to walk in spirit, to be able to receive guidance from above, whether it be through visions or mm-hmm. through dream time, to be able to see. But sometimes when you have a spiritual teacher, they become guardians over your soul. Mm-hmm. Right? Means that if there's something happening in your reality or something's about to come, they'll see it and say, hey, I just had this thing, and I see little John's out there doing some things, and maybe you want to talk to him about it. He may not know how you're going to get this information, but I just want to drop that line to you. Check him out.
We've done this so many times with our students. Been able to tap in. We've been able to tap in with dealing with our children, and this is something that needs to be cultivated in many people, especially mothers. I always speak about the children. The children are highly important. They have came in here, and most of them are not just regular, normal children, and you have to get on their status, else they're going to be teaching you a lesson. For sure, about spirituality.
Well, I think we've had a good topic today. So. 40 minutes. Hey, 40 days, 40 nights, 40 minutes.
And one last thing, check out our podcast. It's called Soulfully Speaking. We just did one where we'll be doing one soon about demons. Entities.
And we'll kind of get into the crazy stuff. Halloween is right around the corner.
Right. So why not?
Why not talk about it? Because there's some things that people are doing when you go to certain places and do certain things, your ass bring entities back like fleas and all type of shit.
Right.
So it's, we got to come into a greater understanding of the reality itself within and without. So therefore, we can become better citizens and we don't have to go through this shit that's about to come.
So find us, our podcast, Soulfully Speaking on SoundCloud, and follow us.
And if you really want to learn how to see and not just, use phrases, there's actual training that you go through. And this is why we have a fee, because, we're giving you hours of time, to teach you a thing that's going to help expand and progress your life.
It's priceless, really, to me. $400 is nothing for something priceless where you could protect yourself, protect your children, protect and even use it as with management, teachers, daycare providers, police, judges. Everybody needs to learn this that deals with people. You deal with people every day.
And that is pretty much a limited time, because you know why? I know we're not going to be here much longer in the U.S. I've already seen it. I already know where I'm going next. Right. So I'm saying it now. This is a great opportunity. Right now, you see me as a regular person. I promise you in the future, you're going to see me as something different.
Right.
So right now, you can work with us. This is not something where I'm just trying to brag on myself. I'm actually telling you real factual information that in the future, it's going to be very hard to be able to get a hold of us. So work with us now. I call this the Last Supper because this is pretty much the last time that we're going to be really serving this dish in the U.S. We done been all over the U.S. going from east to west, and now it's time. If the land doesn't want us to serve them, then guess what? This frequency, all this stuff, when the frequency keep increasing and you realize that the people are not in harmonic convergence with what the land is wanting them to go through, she's going to kick that ass.
Right.
All right.
So that's like natural disasters and many other things are going to happen until people get their heart right. But we're going to wrap this up. You can definitely inbox us about the readings, about the counseling, and also about the class, the All-Seeing Eyes, Spiritual Facial Recognition. I definitely recommend that.
All right. Well, peace out.
Peace.
Check us out later.